The movie starts off with countless soft groans of a young woman who is disgusted by her own reflection in the mirror. Sarah is like millions of other hopefuls in Hollywood. She works a dead-end job as a waitress at Big Taters, a cheap diner with a cheesy theme and a creepy boss. She and her coworkers serve embarrassing men in humiliating uniforms, hoping they'll make it out of there someday. However, this monotonous, draining job fails to steal Sarah's optimism. She consistently practices lines in her room, goes to small auditions, and works tirelessly to hone her craft. Her obsession with her art is tragic on its own, and the distress, the emotional fits that come with it, are a major hell for Sarah. Submitting headshots for different characters is a common chore for her, and we see her applying for the role for a movie, The Silver Scream. At home, she lives with a few fellow doomed creatives, including her roommate Tracy, and a small friend group of other wannabe filmmakers and actors who all suffer the same creative failures. The group hangs out, pretends to support each other, and masks their envy behind forced laughter. There's Erin, another actress who thinks of herself as above everyone and constantly undercuts Sarah with passive-aggressive comments. And then we have Danny, a filmmaker friend who insists he wants to cast Sarah in his next project. Someday, maybe. Sarah's one escape from the crushing reality is her stress-relieving ritual, where whenever she feels overwhelmed or disappointed, she runs into the bathroom and pulls out large clumps of her hair. This compulsive behavior is dark and a way to punish herself for failure, and a symbolic attempt to tear away her insecurities. But this ritual is also something that changes the trajectory of Sarah's life. One night, after leaving a terrible, shallow party, Sarah receives a message from Astraeus Pictures, the production company producing the low-budget horror film, The Silver Scream. Scared of yet another failure, Sarah has a strange nightmare the night before the audition. The day finally arrives, but the audition is strange. The casting directors are cold, emotionless, observing her like a specimen. They ask her to read lines without emotion, then ask her to do it again with emotion, then again without moving. Then suddenly, they dismiss her. It seems like yet another failed attempt to Sarah. Crushed, she runs to the bathroom, slams the stall door shut, and begins her violent hair-pulling ritual once again. Painful shrieks escape her mouth as tears stream down her face, and she punishes herself for not being good enough. This time, however, she's not alone. The lady casting director witnessed everything, and she loved it. She brings Sarah to the audition room again and tells her to perform her emotional meltdown. The request was absolutely inhumane and shattered Sarah's confidence even more. Possessed by ambition, Sarah displays her raw, deeply personal and dark side to these emotionless robots. Interestingly, Sarah passes the first audition and is called in for another round. Confident in her talent, Sarah quits her job and walks into the audition room, only to be asked to disrobe in front of a camera. Desperate to score with the role, Sarah ends up doing what she's told, and the very act of baring herself shifts something inside her, but the final transformation has yet to arrive. At night, Sarah receives an invitation to meet the producer of the film and wastes no time. Dressed in a bright red robe, Sarah walks into an eerie, dark room where she sees an unsettlingly calm older man seated behind a desk. This man asks very intrusive questions and mentions how ugly the film industry is. The producer then tells her that true success requires sacrifice, a rebirth, and a complete transformation. He frames this as a spiritual, transcendental change, something far greater than fame or money. One thing leads to another, and the old man touches Sarah's leg, slides closer, and makes his offer unmistakably clear. He wants her to sleep with him. This traumatic interaction stuns Sarah. Disgusted, she refuses and storms out in sheer panic. Back home, she tells her friends about this agonizing experience, and instead of supporting her, Erin mocks her, implying she should have done it if she wanted the role so badly. Danny seems sympathetic, but dismissive, as though this is simply how Hollywood works. Everything falls apart, and Sarah tries to pick up all the pieces. She goes back to the same crappy diner and asks her boss to hire her again. Danny seems sympathetic, but dismissive, as though this is simply how Hollywood works. In this conversation with Danny, her motives are pretty obvious. She wants to forget all that happened, but there is something still so very off with her. Her soul is transforming into something much worse, A seed has been planted, one that germinates into greed and thirst for fame. She has thoughts about fulfilling the producer's dirty request in the back of her mind. Aaron and Danny's relationship stings Sarah too, and eventually the hunger for validation and recognition pulls Sarah right back into the trap that was set up especially for her. She returns to Estrius Pictures and tells the producer she'll do it. There's no element of coercion this time. Sarah chooses it. That's the tragedy. Dressed in a black backless dress, Sarah's heels tremble on the ground as she walks into the producer's house. The producer escorts her into a back room, draped in black. The atmosphere is almost sacrificial, and this old hag speaks to her about rebirth, destiny, and the legacy of the stars. His words are hypnotic, creating a cultist vibe. The room suddenly goes dark, and Sarah emerges afterward, trembling, dazed, and completely changed. She refuses to talk about what happened and simply goes home. The morning after her first transformation is terribly painful. She becomes impulsive and aggressive. Her behavior estranged her boss, and Sarah ended up hitting him, which led to her ultimate layoff. She experiences violent seizures, auditory hallucinations, and a complete disconnection from the real world. Her condition worries her friends, but Sarah's behavior towards them remains oddly cold. Worried about her condition, Sarah tries to reach out to the filthy producer. She calls the company, knocks on his door, and starts losing her mind in the end. The auditory hallucinations, convulsions, bloody volts, and rapid hair fall scare her friend Tracy. Sarah, however, acts utterly hostile towards Tracy, which leads to a massive argument. This fight ends up exposing all of Sarah's insecurities, and she almost ends a friendship that genuinely cared for her. Later, Sarah experiences another episode of blood-sucking convulsions, and she wakes up with mysterious wounds all over her body. Her body starts to rot, all of her hair and nails come off, and every part of her body starts vomiting flesh and blood. Scared and half dead, Sarah receives a call from Estrius, who congratulates her on getting the role. His words were demonic. He wants Sarah to embrace her transformation and to accept the freedom of the person she is set to become. These sinful promises of everlasting remembrance give her a sense of comfort, and so she decides to let herself loose. What follows is complete terror and extreme bloodshed. One night, Sarah loses her humanity and goes on a murder hunt. Aaron is the first sacrificial goat that ends up running into Sarah. They verbally fight a stretched war, but everything goes downhill when Aaron mocks Sarah for sleeping with her producer. Sarah's lunatic behavior scares Aaron to the core, and she tries calming her down, only to receive deadly stabs across her face and gut. And just like that, this vessel of a demon murders all of her friends and finds solace in it. Her last victim is Danny, with whom she has a strained conversation. Danny expresses his concern and offers to help Sarah out. This offer for help seemed more like a poke at Sarah's wounds, and she kills him mercilessly. This starts mocking her again, and Sarah snaps mentally and physically. Her friends, oblivious to the danger, keep poking at her insecurities. After slaughtering her friends, Sarah goes into full metamorphosis. Her body deteriorates entirely, with her skin sloughing off, hair gone, face distorted. She collapses on the bathroom floor, naked and decayed, as the cult members from Estrius Pictures arrive to collect her. They carry her to a ceremonial site, which is a backyard drenched in moonlight, where robed figures conduct a ritual of rebirth. She lies on the ground, twitching, almost dead. Then silence. The screen fades to black, and we hear shallow, newborn breathing. The film cuts to Sarah rising from the ground. Her old, rotting skeletal body can also be seen lying beside her. Sarah has been reborn. Her skin is smooth, hair full, and eyes bright and glowing. She has become the perfected creation of Estrius Pictures, their star and their chosen one. She walks to a mirror, and gazes at her new reflection and smiles, something opposite to what we saw at the beginning of the film. And this is how the transformation reaches completion, and Sarah gains stardom. But it's not the stardom she once dreamed of. It's something darker, something far eternal. In the end, Sarah sucks the living soul out of her one remaining friend, Tracy, and embraces the dark, eerie symbol she has become. If you like the video, please consider subscribing and make sure to comment which other movies you'd like to see on the channel. I will see you in the next one. Till then, goodbye.